A full moon rises, somewhere a howl splits the night. For centuries the legend of the Wolfman has haunted our darkest dreams, but where did this monster come from? And why does it still terrify us today? The Wolfman is more than a monster. He's the shadow in the woods, the primal fear that stalks us when the night is darkest. He's the beast within, the part of us that civilization can't quite tame. Legends of men turning into wolves go back thousands of years. Ancient manuscripts tell of cursed kings and wild warriors, doomed to walk the line between man and beast. In ancient Greece they whispered about King Lycaon, a ruler so arrogant he dared to serve human flesh to the gods. Zeus, furious, struck him down with a curse, to live forever as a wolf, a monster cast out from humanity. But the Wolfman story doesn't end there. In the frozen north, Norse berserkers donned wolf pelts, believing they could channel the animal's savage power in battle. For them, the wolf was a spirit to be embraced, not feared. As centuries passed, the legend grew darker. In medieval Europe, fear of the werewolf mingled with terror of witches and demons. Villagers huddled by candlelight, convinced that anyone could be hiding a monstrous secret. Accusations of lycanthropy led to brutal trials and executions. Iron collars, stakes, and chains, grim reminders of how far fear can drive us. The Wolfman is a legend that refuses to die. He's the monster in the mirror, the howl in the night, the fear that maybe, just maybe, the beast is real, and it's waiting inside us all. Let's jump to 1941. Universal Studios had already given us Dracula and Frankenstein's monster, but they were about to complete their Mount Rushmore of horror. Bam! The Wolfman hits the silver screen. With his tragic curse, Lon Chaney Jr. Larry Talbot wasn't just a monster, he was a man you felt for. He howls his way into horror history, and suddenly, the modern werewolf is born. But here's something that'll blow your mind. That whole full moon transformation thing, a total Hollywood invention cooked up for the movie. Yeah, you heard me right. Ancient legends didn't give a hoot about the moon's phases. In old folklore, becoming a werewolf could be a choice, using a magic salve or a cursed wolf pelt belt, or a punishment that could strike at any time. The full moon was simply a brilliant cinematic device for building suspense. Now let's talk about the unsung heroes, the makeup artists. These wizards were performing miracles long before CGI. Take Jack Pierce, the maestro behind the Wolfman. This guy was a legend, but his process was a grueling ordeal. He'd spend 6 agonizing hours applying a rubber snout and individual strands of yak hair to poor Lon Chaney Jr.'s face. Then another 3 hours to remove it. It was hot, heavy, and utterly exhausting for the actor. For decades, transformations were just a series of dissolves. Then, 1981, an American Werewolf in London. Makeup genius Rick Baker didn't just raise the bar, he launched it into another dimension. For the first time, you saw it all happen in one excruciating, unbroken shot. Using robotic parts and inflatable bladders under latex, he made the impossible real. Bones cracking, skin stretching, fur sprouting, it was pure body horror, a masterpiece of practical effects that still holds up today. So the Wolfman howls onto the scene in 1941, and the modern werewolf is truly born. Lon Chaney Jr.'s tragic portrayal of Lawrence Talbot became the definitive template, codifying the lore of the full moon and silver bullets. This cinematic blueprint was so powerful, it didn't just stay in horror movies. These furry fiends started clawing their way into all sorts of unexpected places. Comic books? Yep. When the strict Comics Code Authority relaxed its rules in the early 70s, the floodgates opened for monsters. Marvel Comics immediately pounced, introducing Werewolf by Night. For the first time in mainstream comics, the monster was the hero, a protagonist cursed with an affliction, forcing readers to sympathize with the beast within. Then came the 80s, a true renaissance for the lycanthrope. You had the visceral body horror of An American Werewolf in London, with its groundbreaking transformation scenes. But then, have you seen Teen Wolf? Michael J. Fox's character completely flipped the script. Suddenly, being a werewolf isn't just a horrifying curse. It's kinda cool, a superpower for navigating high school. This shift tapped into a powerful fantasy. You've got super strength, enhanced senses, and a connection to a wild, untamed nature. This appeal resonates deeply in modern subcultures. For some in the furry fandom, the werewolf isn't a monster to be feared, but a powerful avatar for self-expression, embracing a hidden, wilder side of their identity. Now let's sink our teeth into some werewolf literature. We're not just talking about recent stuff like Twilight here. Take The Werewolf of Paris by Guy Endore. This 1933 novel is like the Dracula of werewolf fiction. A historical epic using lycanthropy to explore deep themes of war and repressed desire, giving the monster a psychological soul. But here's where it gets really interesting, as the werewolf evolves into a powerful metaphor. In Harry Potter, poor Professor Lupin's furry little problem isn't just a plot device. His lycanthropy is a deeply moving allegory for living with a chronic illness or a social stigma, forcing us to see the kind, suffering person behind the monster. From the tragic tale of Bigby Wolf in Fables, the big bad wolf turned detective, to the lunar-powered adventures of Werewolf by Night, comics have given us some of the most complex werewolf characters out there. They use the long-form medium to explore the man and the monster, proving the internal demons are often more terrifying than the claws and fangs. Alright, let's get weird for a second. First up, hypertrichosis. It's a real medical condition causing excessive hair growth. Historically, individuals with this condition were tragically misunderstood and exhibited in sideshows. We're talking serious Wolfman vibes here. Is it any wonder that people with this condition, their plight on public display, were once thought to be actual werewolves? So we've howled our way from ancient myths to modern movies, but the werewolf evolution doesn't stop there. In games like Werewolf the Apocalypse, you actually play as a werewolf, an eco-warrior fighting for the planet. And don't even get me started on Skyrim, nothing like a little lycanthropy to spice up your dragon-slaying adventures, am I right? It's the ultimate power fantasy made interactive. And there you have it, folks, the wild, woolly, and sometimes weird world of the Wolfman. From ancient myths to blockbuster films, from comic book pages to video game stages, this furry fiend has left claw marks all over our pop culture. But you know what? I think the reason we're still so obsessed with werewolves is that they represent something in all of us. That wild, untamed part that howls at the moon and dreams of running free. So next time you're feeling a little beastly, just remember, there's a little bit of Wolfman in us all.